The basics of helicopter flight controls. Watch this video. Hello, welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. So very quick video here talking about the basics of helicopter flight controls. There are three basic flight controls that you have to be aware of and what they do. So first of all, by the left-hand side of the pilot, there is a handbrake type of control, and this is called a collective. And what this does, it collectively at the same time increases the pitch of the blades, therefore generating more lift. So as the blades are turning around, we raise the collective, that increases the pitch, and that increases the lift of all the blades at all the same time. So let's say if I want to pick up into a hover, or if I want to climb, I raise the collective. If I want to lower down or land, I lower the collective. That's how it goes, like that. Now the Cyclic, which is a joystick type contraption on a long stick that sits in between the pilot's legs, and the pilot will move that Cyclic very, very small amounts, and that affects the blades in their rotation. So as the blades are spinning around, they form what we call a disc, a rotor disc. So the Cyclic will orientate that disc in any direction that the pilot wishes. So if the pilot pushes the Cyclic forward, the disc will tilt forward. If the pilot brings back the Cyclic, brings it aft, then the disc will tilt backwards. Go right, the disc tilts right. Go left, the disc tilts left. So what happens when the disc tilts? Well, basically, if you push forward on the Cyclic, the disc tilts forward, and then the rotor thrust is directed from vertical to more forward, and it pulls the helicopter along, or it pulls it in whichever direction the disc is tilted, forward, back, right, left. So what makes this disc tilt when the Cyclic is moved? Well, the Cyclic is moved and it will either increase or decrease the pitch of a blade at a particular point in the rotation of that blade. So therefore, let's just say on a counterclockwise rotor, if the Cyclic is pushed forward, the blade coming up the 3 o'clock position will start to lose lift, lose pitch, lose lift, and over the nose of the helicopter, it will sink low. The one on the 9 o'clock position will increase pitch, start to gain lift, and go high over the tail. So the net result is that the disc goes from a level disc, then it goes to a forward disc like that. So you get a low sweep at the front, and you get a high sweep at the tail. So that's what happens. The disc is moved by the manipulation of the Cyclic. So you could think of the Cyclic as a kind of a steering wheel. Now the collective is used to adjust the power, the amount of lift to maintain level flight. So let's just say, for example, if the Cyclic is moved forward, the disc tilts forward, and the rotor thrust, or the lift, pulls the helicopter along. But in doing so, it loses a vertical lift or thrust. So what will happen is that if the collective stays in exactly the same position, the helicopter will start to descend as the pilot accelerates, as the Cyclic is pushed forward. So to counteract that, you push forward on the Cyclic, the vertical rotor thrust leans forward and it pulls the helicopter along, but then the collective is raised to counteract the loss of vertical thrust. So therefore you maintain height, therefore you can accelerate, maintaining altitude. Now, if you raise the collective even more, you can accelerate and climb as well, but obviously there's only so much power available. Okay, quickly, the third controls are the tail rotor pedals. These are pedals which the pilot will push by his feet or her feet. And you have a left pedal and a right pedal. Now, what that does, that controls the tail rotor system, the anti-torque system on the helicopter. It could be a rotor, could be a fenestron, could be a notar system as well. And essentially what that does, that generates thrust either left or right, or increases thrust left or right, depending on the rotation of the main rotor, different designs, of course. But essentially what will happen is that when the blades are turning, the fuselage wants to go in the opposite direction. So to counteract that anti-torque requirement is by the tail rotor system. And what will happen is that there will be a left or right force applied that will counteract that nose right or nose left. So if the nose of the helicopter wants to veer to the right, then you push forward on the left pedal, that increases the rotor thrust, and so that it pushes the tail to the right, thus bringing the nose to the left. So the manipulation of all these controls at the same time is how the helicopter flies. The collective essentially makes it go up and down. The cyclic makes it go forwards, backwards, left to right. It steers it. And the tail rotor is really for directional control in the hover or very low speed flight. Once you're in forward flight, then horizontal stabilizers or vertical fins on the tail section will keep the helicopter more streamlined and steady, so the tail rotor is less effective and less required in forward flight. It's only in slow speed flight or in the hover where the tail rotor system is required and becomes really effective. I hope you found that useful. If you like what I do here, just keep on watching the videos and I'll catch you again. Bye now.